So let me start today with this question. Does anyone listening or watching remember the Cubs rebuild? I know I'm taking you to some very dark times, but please bear with me. You'll enjoy this. From 2011 to 2014, we all remember the Cubs were atrocious. They weren't just mediocre, they were atrocious. Joe Mather was playing in the outfield. Edwin Jackson was signed to a deal. Chris Volstad made starts for the team. Those times were dark, they were rough. People wondered, did Theo make the right decision? Up until that point, no team had really done a full rebuild in Chicago, or had come out and said, we're doing this. You could argue the Bulls, but they were just mired in mediocrity because they weren't good. The Cubs specifically said, we're essentially going to tank. We're going to do bad on purpose, rebuild the farm system, and start from the ground up. The first team ever in Chicago to do it. And I remember at the time, there were some questions. Was this the right move? Look at where the Cubs are right now. They're a laughing stock. Then, 2014 through 15, and the offseason happened, and everyone who had doubt recanted it immediately. No longer were the Cubs paying Joe Mather or Chris Volstad or Edwin Jackson. They went out and they spent serious money. Money that hadn't been spent since they got Alfonso Soriano. They went out, they signed Jon Lester, 6-year deal. They made a move. They made a statement. They made a splash, and they told everybody, we're back. Did you miss us? That was the most shocking move the Cubs have ever made recently. Many people thought, well, this team's still in rebuild mode. They have nothing. This team blows. They silenced everybody, and they made a big move. And they told everybody, we're back. The rebuild worked. Watch us win. The next year, they go to the NLCS for the first time since 2003. And the year after that, yes, they win the World Series. Whether you were critical of the model at first or not doesn't matter. The point is, it worked. It worked perfectly. Now, the after effects, that's a completely different story. But from 2011 to 2016, Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer, and company executed to perfection. They were bad. They were beyond bad. They had guys who are probably now bagging at Walmart, playing for them on the field. But it ended up working out. It worked out great for them. I remember Cubs fans at the time, including myself, were wondering, man, they don't spend a lot of money anymore. There's no one good on this team. What are we to do? Why watch the games? And then I said to myself, you know what? Things will get better. Moves will be made. And the rebuild will conclude. And it'll be magnificent. And it was. But see, I direct you back to the 2014-15 offseason for a big reason. At that time, no one really knew where the Cubs were. Some people said maybe they're over the hump. Others said they have a long way to go. No one knew. And then Theo and Jed made the biggest signing of the offseason and said, we have Jon Lester. We're winning now. If you listen to this show, if you watch this show, I've talked a lot about signaling before. In economics, they use the word signaling to describe indirect behaviors that show directly what's going to happen. So in economics, for example, let's say you have a college degree. We know the paper means nothing. If you go up to someone with that piece of paper, it's worthless. But it signifies, hey, this guy has a degree. He's eligible to get this job. He has some sort of skill set that he accrued in college. That's what it means. When the Cubs went out and signed Jon Lester, it meant the rebuild was over. It meant that's it. We're ready. We're ready to play. We're ready to contend. It sent a signal. It told people the rebuild is over, we're ready. No one criticized it. Everybody was happy. They were rejoicing. People knew this team is for real again. They finally made it back to 2008 level. They were better than 2008 level. The same thing is happening with the Chicago White Sox right now. They made a couple of big moves over the past couple of days. I've seen some hate for them, and we'll address that in a second. But first take, when you look at these signings, you think, boy, the Sox are for real. They went out, they got Adam Eaton, 1 year, $7 million, and they traded for Lance Lynn. It's essentially a 1 year contract. He'll be a free agent after this year, but they got some much needed starting pitching help, which we've talked about before. For those who don't know Lynn, he is a workhorse, and I put in my tweet, I love people who can eat up innings, and I love guys who tell their skippers, I can go the distance. That's what he does every year. 30-plus starts, going far back this year because of the quarantine, but 2019, 2018, 17, 15, 14, 13, 30-plus starts every year. Every year. Led the league this year in innings pitched, 84. 6-3 record, 3.32 ERA. I remember him carving up the Cubs when he was on the Cardinals. This guy is a great pitcher. He fits in perfectly. How's that for a top three in your rotation now? Giolito, Keuchel, and Lynn. We're not even talking about guys behind him. Cease, Kopech, Lopez possibly. Gonzalez, there are other moves to be made still. This was a huge pickup for the White Sox. Despite popular opinion being, oh, horrible, should have gotten someone better. No. They got a good player. They got a workhorse. They got somebody who's not going to complain of arm pain after 5 innings and just say, I'm done. He's going 6 innings, 7 innings every start. He is a 200-inning guy per year. You know, people discount that, and I hate that argument. Oh, you shouldn't be going that long in games. No, that's a commodity today. See, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you had 20, 30 pitchers going 200 innings a season. Today, you're lucky if you have 1 or 2. That's horrible. Workhorses should be celebrated. That's why I'm celebrating this move. We should be happy. If you're a Sox fan, you should be happy about acquiring a workhorse and putting him right next to Giolito and Keuchel. 2 workhorses, too. Both of those guys always go 180, 200 innings, and Lynn could be added to that list. 3 great starting pitchers. No more worries about who are you going to start in Game 3. No more worries about a playoff rotation. You know who's going Game 3. Great move. Cannot praise it enough. Now, the Adam Eaton one is a bit more complicated. I know all about the clubhouse distraction and moving lockers, all of that stuff. Ozzie Guillen saying, no one on the White Sox likes you, no fans like you. Look, Adam Eaton's a good player. I'm not going to talk about clubhouse stuff yet. I'm going to talk about him on the field. Great player, actually. The guy got an MVP vote in 2016 with the White Sox. The guy plays every year, 150, 140 games. He puts up good numbers. Career OPS plus 111. Great leadoff hitter. 910 triples a year. In his prime, he was going 170 hits a year. Batting average around 280, 290. OPS from 770 to 800. He's a bona fide leadoff man. The White Sox really don't have a bona fide leadoff man yet. Tim Anderson's more of a number 2 hitter. That's a great move. Numerically, great move. And he's a big replacement and a big upgrade over Nomar Mazara. Mazara hit 220. Mazara did nothing. That was a 1-year deal, And I remember everybody touting Mazara. Hey, 20 home runs every year. He'll hit 30 with the White Sox in U.S. Cellular Field, Guaranteed Rate Field. Didn't happen. That signing didn't work at all. If you're going to tell me that Adam Eaton is more of a problem than Nomar Mazara, then I ask you to check his numbers. He's a good player. Great move by the White Sox again. I know the off-the-field stuff could be an issue, but here's my take on that. When he was with the White Sox originally, 2015, 2016, that franchise was going nowhere. I'm not excusing his behavior, but they were going nowhere. It makes sense as to why him and other players were frustrated at the current situation. Robin Ventura was managing. It wasn't even Rick Renteria yet. Now he's playing under Tony La Russa. That team went 78-84. It's pretty hard to have a straight pace every day when you know you're not going anywhere. And ever since he left, I would argue he's gotten better. Winning a World Series, more of a veteran, more mature. He's not a bad player, and I think he's grown. Maybe that's stupid on my part to think he's gotten better with personality stuff and with locker room stuff, but the guy has a World Series. Look, if he was that disruptive, wouldn't the Nats not have won the World Series in 2019? If he was that disruptive, the Nats wouldn't have been where they were. He played every day. He hit every day, played defense. Not a bad player. I know no one in Chicago likes him for what happened before. Put that behind. See what he does now. Give him a chance. Numerically, great move. And we can all agree, a bigger upgrade to Nomar Mazara. And since he's left, he has matured. World Series. Goes to a new team, new environment. Plays under different people. Played under Dave Martinez, former Cubs bench coach. Still puts up quality numbers when healthy. For 1 year, $7 million, what do you have to lose? Cheap contract. I love the move. And I've seen so many people discredit it. So many people say, oh, I have this story. Put it behind you. This is why I brought up the Cubs and 2014 and 2015 to open this show. Okay? Here's why. At the time, the Cubs were clearly rebuilding. They had nothing. No one cared about them. No one knew anything about them. Then they make a splash. Jon Lester, 6 years, here he is. And everyone immediately said, wow. Wow at the amount of money they spent. Wow at the fact that the Cubs were back. You could argue right now the Sox are doing the same thing. And there's still more to be done. They're in on Michael Brantley right now. Maybe they'll get him. That's a huge pickup. Instead of degrading this, be happy. The Sox are spending money. They're making moves. This is positive. This is a signal. This is a signal that the Sox are back. No more rebuild. No more 90-loss season. No more accruing draft picks and prospects. No. We're going to spend now. We're going to win now. Rick Hahn said it. Our window is here. We're ready. Whether you like the moves or not, at least agree and think, hey, at least they're spending money. At least they're trying to be competitive. At least we know it's time. It is time. Sox fans have waited way too long for this, and last year was just a taste. It's going to get better. And if the Sox spend more money and get more players, it'll only get better, and I think they will. That's why these moves, whether big or small, whatever you think, they should be celebrated. They're spending money. They're committed to winning now. Not winning in 10 years. No. The window is here. They're ready. This is a good thing. I would hope that Adam Eaton has grown. Maybe he has. He won a World Series, different clubhouse, different atmosphere. We'll see. Lance Lynn, without question, great move. Innings eater, 30-plus starts every year, 3.3, 3.4 ERA. Number 3 starter, no question on this team. A team that needed starting pitching help. This is positive. This is a step in the right direction. This is good. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. If they land Michael Brantley, watch out. You want to talk about a stacked lineup? Want to talk about a great team? I mean, think about what happened this past year. Grandal, Abreu, MVP. Tim Anderson, Jimenez, Robert. Sanchez was there. And now you're going to add more. Now you're adding Eaton. Imagine they get Michael Brantley. Madrigal's still young. Moncada. This is one hell of a lineup, top to bottom. And it's only going to get better. It's not going to get worse. Making moves will not make this lineup worse. It's going to make it better. That's why before we all freak out, let's at least analyze and assess the situation. I know about Adam Eaton's past, but trust me, the fact that the White Sox are even spending money, that's a positive. That's a good thing. They're going to spend more. So instead of just tearing this down and saying this is horrible, give it a chance. They're spending money. The Cubs in 2014-15 spent money for the first time in a long time. They said, we're ready. This is our time. This is our window. We're going to make a move. Rick Hahn said the other day, this is our time. This is our window. We're ready to win now. Disregard the past with Adam Eaton. Maybe he's changed. Won a World Series. New atmosphere. This isn't the worst thing in the world. He puts up good numbers. Lance Lynn, we can all agree, great move for the starting rotation. Be happy your team is spending money. Whenever people wonder, is this a good move? Well, is the team spending money? Are they saying to people, directly or indirectly, we're ready to win? If they are, you're good. The Sox have done both. They've said directly, this is our time, we're ready. And indirectly, they made moves to support that argument. Let's be grateful. Let's see how it plays out. There's much more time too. Great job by the White Sox here. I hope more is to come, and I wish them nothing but the best. They've done a great job with this rebuild. They've executed to perfection, similar to what Theo and Jed did. And now, here's their chance to win. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Benjamin Albrecht comes up next, so stay tuned. Hey, do you want to make some money this weekend? What if I told you I could offer you $250 free to bet on any game you want? Here's what you have to do. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash, sportstalkchicago.com/cash. You must be 21 plus. You must be an Illinois resident. You can bet $250 free on any game you want this upcoming weekend. The Bears are on. I don't know if you're going to watch, but they're on. You could bet on it. College football, college basketball. There are a lot of opportunities here for you to win some serious money. And it's this easy. This is all you have to do. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash, sportstalkchicago.com/cash. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.